Hey, it's Jeff, and I'm here to do a review on the Tronxy XY Pro. Now, I've had this printer for about a week now, and I'd like to share with you what my thoughts are. I've seen a bunch of unboxing videos online, so not going to do any of that. I'm just going to kind of let it do its thing in the background while I'm explaining to you my first thoughts and impressions of this rather economical printer. I got this for $300 Canadian in the Great White North. So a little fun little specs about this is the print size is 255 by 255 by 260. So it's slightly larger than the Ender 3 or Prusa MK3S. It has an interesting bed that's heated, but the build plate is like a fiberglass build plate with a sticker on top. It's rated for PLA and ABS according to the book. It has the MK3, or what is the MK8 hot end in there, which is very similar to an Ender 8. And it's just it's a good little machine. The slicer, it comes pre-bundled with a remix of the Cura software. It's just relabeled the Tronxy slicer. It's basically reskin Cura. And it comes with what you see here. The spool holder actually goes on top, but because of my cabinet that I have it in right now, I just moved the spool holder over, and the only modifications I've made to this machine so far was that I printed some larger leveling wheels. It does come with automatic bed leveling, and it is a 32-bit board, which is kind of interesting for such a really cheap and economical printer. The assembly was really easy to do. I do like the fact that it kind of has this all-in-one cable over here for your hot end, your stepper motors, your filament sensor and everything. It's all in. There's a breakout board in this little area here, and it's just one big ribbon cable that goes into the motherboard. Now let's talk a little bit about print quality, assembly, and all the options on the menu. It's got a really nice touchscreen menu. You can go into it as you're printing, and you can adjust your speed, hot end temps, your bed temps, your flow rate, your fans. It's actually really nice. It is Tronxy is a Chinese company, so the translations in it are very good, but they're almost literally Google translates. So let's have a look here. It comes, as I say, pre-sliced with a few models. Just hang on a second. I'm just going to show you a couple of them right now. It comes with the typical Flexi Rexy, which is a nice little model. But I did notice that it does kind of get, I don't know, you can see that residue that it has on it. But it is nice. It does flex around. This is the build plate side with that residue. I'm wondering if it's just a little bit from the bed and stuff, right? As you can see, this is pre-sliced on the software. There is this color band right here. I did notice that in a few other prints, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, the Flexi Rexy turned out really good. He's nice and flexible. Again, they're pre-sliced file off of their card. They also had a lovely little tiki. Looks really good, really fantastic, nice and smooth off of their card. But again, you can see some of these little layer inconsistencies in here. I did, after I got it, I put it together and I started to run prints. Quick little checks to make sure nothing was loose. You want to make sure that your bed isn't, it's solid, it doesn't shift from side to side. You want to make sure your print head doesn't twist. And you want to make sure your Z-axis moves up and down smoothly. There are concentric nuts on here, so it's quite easy just to turn and adjust. Now, and that's what these were. These lines here, if you can see them, right there. That actually, I had one of the wheels on this side binding a bit. I had to adjust it. I did take it off. I did realign it. I put it back on. It came out much smoother. But yeah, it was printing out of the box within half an hour, and then I was just basically troubleshooting some stuff, right? After that, I did put it in like a Baz mode, and I just wanted to see, and if you can see here, the Baz mode is actually really nice. It did a really good job on this. This was sliced in Prusa slicer, and I believe it is at 1.5 layer heights. And again, look at that. That looks absolutely beautiful, right? That is a really nice print. I did print a Benchy as well. I'll just show you that. That was the first Benchy I printed. If you look at that, that is... I haven't really played with any of the stringing or anything on it, but the arch on the door, there's no overhangs on that. The front window, you usually get a little bit of an overhang. It's doing pretty good. The portholes on the front of the boat are really nice. The bow is really nice. I wanted to show you one thing though. There's no water lines on here, if you don't notice. Usually there's the hull line right away across on the Benchies. Now again though, I have that slight shadow in the filament colors. I have noticed that before on different models printed on like the MK3, the Porsche, the Prusa that I have up top there. So that is standard, and you will get some discoloration on your prints a little bit here and there. But yeah, no, it's actually a really good model. It's a really good little machine for the price. Like, as I say, it's $300 Canadian, so it's probably $225, $230 US right now, I guess, with the exchange rate. Cheaper, is it about? Well, it's about the same price as an Ender 3, I guess, right? But you're looking at, you know, you got auto bed leveling. You have a larger build plate. You have a 32-bit board. So, you know, for out of the box printing and doing what it's doing, I like this printer for the price. You know, it's a good little printer, this Tronxy XY Pro. It's actually a really good XY-2 Pro, sorry. Tronxy XY-2 Pro. It's a really good little printer. For the price, I can't complain. Things I'd like to see changed or updated. As far as the software goes, I would love to see, it's a 32-bit board. It's 2020 right now. I'd like to see it have a live Z adjust on it. You actually have to go and adjust your Z level. You got to level your bed manually, then do the auto bed level, then adjust your Z point, and then you can start printing. I'd like to be able to see it live, so when you're printing that first layer, you don't have to stop, pull it off, look at the bottom and go, okay, good, bad, I gotta readjust it and stuff like that. You can, this is a non-Marlin based machine, so it has a different set of G code to it. The Chityu G code set, which is slightly different, to modify parameters. Example, if you wanted to calibrate your extruder, you would have to go in. Basically what you have to do is you have to pull the configuration off of this machine with a couple of codes on the SD card, and it will write you a configuration file. You have to go through that, look for the line that you want, be it extruder calibration, be it Z offset, PID tuning. Then you have to adjust those numbers, put the SD card back in, and you have to print the file, so to speak, and then it will let you know it's done. reboot the machine and the changes take effect. Speaking of the SD card, it has a micro SD card. Not a big fan of those. And for somebody like me who has this, I like to have this in a cabinet because it's rated for ABS. I'd like to print it in ABS, so I just basically close the doors and then I can print it ABS with it. Just like I do with the Prusa up top. I have them both together. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is the SD card's in the back. I'm not a big fan of that because I got to reach all the way in and pull it. I'm going to get an extender and bring it out front. Minor thing, it's probably $10 to get one off of Amazon. It's just a micro SD. Actually, I'll use a standard SD card, so I'll get a micro SD, 2 standard SD extender, wrap it around the bottom, and that's probably going to be the extent of my modifications for this. But it prints good. The bed. I'm not a fan of the bed. Don't say I'm not a fan. I don't know. It's a fiberglass bed with a sticker on it. The prints tend to stick a lot and make it really difficult to pull off. Like you just sort of thing, right? So I'm not a big fan of that. They give you a scraper. It's not actually a great scraper. It's just whatever, and you sort of dig at it, and you know, I don't find it that great. So let's see. I touched on the SD is at the back. The power switch is at the back. Those are only my real big beefs. Is the SD card at the back? I'm not a big fan of, and the bed I'm not a big fan of. But you know, they're trying to put out an economy printer at a reasonable price. So for $300 Canadian, probably I'm guessing $230, $240 American. I'd say this is a really good starting printer. It has auto power resume as well, which means that if you have a power outage during a print, it will resume the print when the power comes back on. That with the 32-bit board and the bed leveling makes it a pretty good deal. I think it's actually a really good printer. It's very solid. It's got what are these, 2040s and 4040 extrusions. So this thing is built like a rock. You could probably drop it off a balcony and it'll stay together. And I like the color blue. What can I say? So this is Jeff, and this is the review on the Tronxy XY-2 Pro printer. Bigger build volume than an Ender 3 or a Prusa MK3. Pretty solid, pretty decent prints you get out of it. I think, like as I said, the Benchy, this is, you know, straight off the print bed. Not even really tweaking the settings too much, just importing a couple of items in the Prusa Slicer. I will put up another video on my Prusa Slicer profile as to how it ends up being quite this nice. For first print, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty impressive, I'm saying, right? That is I'm okay with that Benchy. I really am. All these prints are done with Amaze PLA. The green ones are Amaze PLA. I like Amaze. It's actually runs really well with my printers. I find it's fairly consistent. I haven't had a problem with it. I guess that's about it. I should wrap this up and say I'm running a check cube right now. I will, when I do a Prusa Slicer video for this, I will show you my starting G-code, because one thing that people seem to have a problem with this printer is the automatic bed leveling. They can't quite seem to get it right. As I say, I've been playing around with it for about a week now, and I think I got it pretty much dialed in. It's just a matter of a couple of steps. So I'll touch on that with the next video on this Tronxy. And until then, we'll see you later. Okay, bye. Oh yeah, so, and there's one more print. This was off of the card. I forgot to show, but this is the castle that comes off of the card. If you can see inside that DNA strand there, that's actually not bad. The whole print actually looks really good. The stairs look really good. You know, so this was actually the best print off the card. I really, really enjoyed this. So yeah, so that's just my my bonus credit scene, I guess. Okay. If you like the video, subscribe. I'll be putting out some more content. I do have I have 4 printers right now. I've used a Fulsa, Monoprice. I currently have an Anycubic, a Chiron, and the Tronxy is my new one. I have the Persia MK3. I have an Elegoo Mars. So, you know, I'll be doing videos on resin prints. I'll be doing videos on large builds, small builds, cosplay, troubleshooting, slicer videos, tips and tricks, maybe some, you know, basic Tinkercad tutorials. You know, I love 3D printing. I've been doing it for a few years now, and it's just, you know, it's a rabbit hole to get into, but once you're in there, you know, it's just, it's a really fun hobby. You can have a lot of fun and enjoyment. The family's always asking me, I always have a list of things that they want me to print. It's like, oh, Dad, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? I got people asking me, hey, can you do this? People at work go, hey, you know, so, you know, it's a very viable and, you know, fun. It could be a profitable hobby for you too. So, this is Jeff, signing out.